Hey, comic book collectors, do you want to protect what you collect? Do you hate when your comic books slide around in your short box, or you need to turn them sideways just so they don't bend or fall over? Well, look no further than Sidekick Supplies. Their product fits firmly inside your comic box, so you don't need to worry. And not only is their product made in the USA, but also ships free directly to your doorstep. Check out our sponsor, Sidekick Supplies, at sidekicksupplies.com and use the code ComicCom15 for 15% off your purchase. Believe me, you'll be ordering more than one.
Welcome to the one and only Comic-Con Podcast, your podcast for comic book news, reviews, and comic community drama, with your hosts, Nemesis Prime and Milton the Manimal. Are you listening?
Welcome back to the Comic-Con Podcast, your Halloween special, Season 4, Episode 43, with your host, Nemesis Prime. What's going on, everyone?
Well, so spooky.
Yeah, so spooky. So, we were recording this a day early. We're recording this on All Hallows Eve, Mischief Night.
All Hallows Eve.
Yes. There's a date. I guess there's something, and then Halloween, All Saints Day, blah blah blah. So you're hearing this on November 1st. We are out of October. It's Nemesis Prime, and of course my partner in crime, Mr. Manimal. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah. Glad we're doing this. I love Halloween, and got to do some trick or treating tomorrow. I'm excited to see how my new neighborhood. It's a really cool neighborhood. So I feel like my last neighborhood in El Paso, it was a nice neighborhood, and we had a lot of kids in the neighborhood and stuff, but I was not impressed with the trick-or-treating activities. Maybe I was just it was kind of weird streets, and so they might have all been like at a different side. But this neighborhood's more like traditional neighborhood. It feels like what I remember kind of as a kid in like Idaho as well and stuff like that. And so I'm excited. I want to see a lot of kids walking around. I love Halloween. I will say though, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of decorations up, which is kind of a bummer. As I didn't decorate either though.
Oh my god, of course.
Well, yeah, but I carved a pumpkin today.
Okay.
Did you see it? I posted on my
No, I didn't see it yet.
On my private. You'll see on my post.
Okay. I guess you could send me a picture.
Pretty good, dude.
That's cool.
I'm a pretty good pumpkin carver, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, used to do that stuff. I decorated the outside. There's a lot of stuff hanging out. But yeah, my town, my street in general is just savage.
Yeah.
I bought 4 bags of at least over 100 pieces of candy. Awesome. It's gonna be wild tomorrow.
I remember your house because you've got the storm door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think if I was you, I'd probably just sit there, storm door open or closed, and then with the main door open, and then probably just a cooler of beer, just chilling, drinking beers while people are coming and handing out candy. And
yeah, I think typically what I did last year was I just sat on the front steps because the kids come so for a good 2.5 hours. It's just constant. I'll take pictures and I'll send it to you, and I just can't even deal. I can't sit inside. The doorbell rings, the cats go crazy. I'd rather just sit outside. Yeah. The cats are just sitting there because then the kids are like, "Oh, look, the cat." I'm like, "Yeah, that's so and so, and that's their names, and that's cool." But yeah, I think the beer thing will probably happen. I'll probably just have my Alexa outside as well, and we'll just rock some music while I'm hanging out there with me and the wife whenever she gets home. I'm actually going to work from home, so it's easier, so I don't have to drive home and deal with all the BS. So
I'm hoping because today on what is Wednesday, today the weather was super awesome, and I'm man, I really hope it's this tomorrow too.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the warmest it's ever been in quite some time on Halloween. So
that'll be good. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Gonna be a good time. Be wearing just a t-shirt and jeans.
What are you going? Are you dressing up?
I'm going as
a whatnot seller.
Oh, God. I wanted to say so many things there, but I gotta hold back. Oh boy, you really put me on the spot on that one. I'm gonna go as a comic book influencer.
Oh, okay, cool, interesting.
So I'm just gonna have my comic
specific or more a generic idea of a comic book influencer.
I don't know what's the most 2024 comic influencer look like these days.
I mean, yeah, you got to go as Comic Tom.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that'd be a thing for, I don't know, whatever. That'd actually be a fun party. That's what Greg from MTG Comics should do for King Kong. He should have had it closer to Halloween and had people dress up as different YouTubers,
Like your
and I think
favorite
that would be
influencer.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It'd be fun because it's like it's all in good fun. It's
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah. It's flattering. Yeah.
yeah. That'd be a cool community thing. Speaking of community stuff, so
Wait,
hopefully
you wanna know
everyone
what I'm going as?
oh, no,
Jeez,
sorry, I didn't ask you.
man. I
What
got
are
shit,
you going as,
we gotta
Zach?
dress up. Yeah, I'm going as Dracula because my son's gonna go as the Wolfman.
Yes.
I don't like to say werewolf because I like werewolves, but that's more of like a, it's like a
Underworld thing?
genre, but
Mhm.
he is specifically the Wolfman from Universal
Mm.
Monsters, right? And my
Yes.
wife's gonna go as the Mummy
Okay.
because she's a mummy mommy, right?
I get it.
Yeah.
Mummy.
So
Uh, speaking of the Wolfman, did you see that latest trailer for that movie that came out?
yeah. Yeah, what was it? It's the Wolfman, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a more modern
Yeah, who was in it? Man, it looked really good.
I forget, but yeah.
Dude, yes, I totally forgot I even saw that. Hold on, now I'm gonna look it.
We'll talk about that later. But back to community stuff. So hopefully everyone got a chance and checked out all 4 episodes of our bonus content this month with all of our Kickstarters for Kickstartober. They all some of them funded. I should say all of them funded, I believe. And then the last one with Paul for Project Neosis doesn't start until November 22nd. So we'll be promoting that later on in November as well. So and let's get into some community questions. So actually, since it is the Halloween, we have one Halloween question, and it's from our boy Justin No Good Comics says, "What's your favorite Halloween candy?" Mine's Reese's.
Reese's Pieces or like Reese's Peanut Butter
You
Cups?
just put Reese's, bro, so you can hit him up and ask him.
What a piece of shit, dude. Like, I mean, like, specify, bro. We live in a world of specification. Like, we need to know. Now everyone's gonna wait to figure out what no good likes. Well, it's
Mhm.
pieces. I mean, you must mean peanut butter cups, right? Like,
Oh, I would say so. Yeah, I don't think people are gonna just say Reese's, and it's gonna be like the
the
like M&M
yeah,
look.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those.
Okay,
What do you got? What about you?
it's tough. You know, you know which ones I have. This isn't my favorite, but the ones that I do like, I used to like were the uh the Tootsie Rolls, but they're like the flavored ones. They have like the old, like super OG like wrappers, and it's like vanilla or like do you know which ones I'm talking about? It's like flavored Tootsie Rolls and they look older. You remember
Gross.
these? Dude, no, they're so good. Like there's like orange, there's like vanilla, there's like chocolate. Obviously, that's the
Mhm.
Tootsie Roll, but
Okay.
I always liked those. Favorite? I don't know, man. I'm a Twix guy. I'm also a Kit Kat guy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You? I don't eat a lot of candy.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of
Just want
candy
to be honest.
either, but so
I
it's
need texture though. I like
yeah, yeah.
texture. I like texture. Crunch
Uh,
wafer.
so we've had these, like I said, we bought 2 bags. I've originally had 2 giant bags of candy for Halloween. It was like I said, it's like 150 pieces. And of course, the wife opens it up and starts eating it. And I'm like, why are you eating it? Like you're taking it away from the children. Now I have to go buy more candy. And then I start, dabbing in. I was actually going to hide the
Okay.
bags.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So my go-to in these
Truth
bags
comes out.
is the peanut butter M&Ms. That's my go-to, but do you remember and I know they still have them in, like, the accessory bags. It was like a small it looked like they're like little circle things. It's like in a little candy roll wrap. It's almost like Tic Tacs, but not but it's straight up sugar. Um,
Uh,
I can't like, if
are
I
they like
showed
with
you
the
a
white backing?
no, I ca if I showed you a picture of them, you'd know exactly what they're from, and, they typically come in like a, um I'm gonna, real quick, I'm gonna do this on the fly and probably show you. Let's I apologize for this, of course, because we are audio, but as soon as Zach
Mhm.
sees this thing, he's gonna know these little things in here, these Smarties.
Oh, Smarties. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
And
I was totally thinking something else. Wait.
no,
Zoom in on this. Oh no,
yeah.
that's the crappy bubble gum.
No, it's all just garbage. But yeah, the
I gotta
Smarties.
find a picture of the Tootsie Rolls for you though.
But they were definitely my go-to. Yeah, Tootsie Rolls
Really?
also.
Smarties?
They were oh man, they were just straight up sugar when you were a kid.
Ugh. I mean, it's also like eating medicine.
Yes, I guess that's what it is too. So. But eh, that's our
Okay.
candy story.
That's your go-to. That's your number one pick.
That's my go-to. Yeah, those my go-to. No, my definite go-to is peanut butter. No,
Oh, here we go. Let me
M and
share.
M's, peanut M and M's. Those are always my go-to. But like as far as like because you don't ever see Smarties
Mhm.
only during Halloween. I feel like no one's you can't go really to the convenience store and buy like a pack of Smarties. They really don't sell it. It's always in the giant bags because they're just so small. So,
Okay. How do
Are
I
you
I always
finding yours real quick?
yes, but I always forget how to share screen. How do I do this?
You hit present, share
Present. There we
screen,
go. Okay, here we
and then one more thing.
go. Da-da-da-da.
So let's see what Zach like.
The
Well, we're
fruit
gonna hear what
chews.
Zach likes.
These are the ones I was talking about. You see
I
them?
wish you if you were no, you're not sharing.
Oh, I'm not sharing them?
Present, share screen, and then
Okay.
you hit the Chrome
Oh,
tab,
I gotta hit the
whichever.
thing. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. These guys.
Let's see what Zach likes. Choose.
These aren't my favorite, but I always enjoyed these.
Okay.
And they
Well,
have,
they
like,
are
the
fruit
different flavors.
chews, different
And they're made
passion
by Tootsie
fruits.
Roll.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't recall these, unfortunately, sir.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I like these. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I think I like the texture. I like a wafer. I like something that's gonna have a little bit of a crunch to it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
why Reese's is good. Like Reese's peanut butter cups. It's got a nice
yeah,
you
I'm
bite
not.
into it, it's got the middle.
Yeah, I also am
Alright.
a big like chocolate covered or any kind of like
Mm.
pretzels. Like, but
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
anyway,
something that's got the two-tone, the 2
yeah,
different
dude.
flavors.
Yeah, I like
I get
salty.
you.
So
Yeah, I get you. Well, that's why I like peanut M&Ms over regular M&Ms,
I
but
get you.
next up, so our buddy Scott Palachuk asks, "What direction should Marvel go with the Midnight Suns movie, and what director?" And this is actually, he
Huh.
sent this to me the other day, and I don't
Yeah,
know if you kind of saw this, but
I did see something came out that, but I saw it from like a. It didn't feel like reputable site. Um,
yeah, it was sent to us in a story. So it says, Marvel is fast tracking the Midnight Suns
yeah.
film. The studio is currently searching for a director." He's like, "This is great news. They need to pick a horror director with big visions like Guillermo del Toro, Alvarez, or Eli
Mhm.
Roth. What are your thoughts?"
That'll never happen. I mean, it'll never happen. They're not gonna do it. They just won't. I mean, look at like even look. Okay, so even like I'm looking at this picture. I don't know if it's the same picture that you've seen, and I've saw it as well. But this picture, you see Man Thing, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider.
It's from that 4-issue mini, right? That
B
4-issue miniseries of
Yeah, but
Midnight
I mean,
Suns?
this is I don't know if this is just like a fan picture here, but
Oh,
it
okay.
also has like it looks like Blade and it looks
Doctor
like
Strange.
Black Knight possibly in this picture. And I also
Mhm.
saw another one I saw had who's this? Okay, this is Mr. Knight, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange. I see a Punisher. This is the one I actually saw before. But like you're talking about some of these characters that Moon Knight, there was humor. So even Werewolf by Night, there was humor. I mean, it
Mhm.
was great. Don't get me wrong, but you're not going to have like those all those directors are not going to have like they're not going to do the Marvel humor problem, like where everything has to be somewhat humorous. We're not going to get it, and I think you just have to. Everyone just needs to accept that, unfortunately, and just be like, you're going to get the Marvel version of what Midnight Suns is, which is always going to be probably a little bit less than what it could have been. I don't know. I think it would be great. I think it's the way we're never gonna get a Blade solo movie, like
Yeah,
unless,
that's
unless he like comes out and they do it with Midnight Suns and it's awesome, and then they feel like okay, there's some legs there, and I don't know, they can figure out their director situation, but um, I mean, yeah, I you're talking to someone who would love to see it. Um, I would think out of the characters we have so far, I don't think you put Punisher in there. I don't think you put Doctor Strange in there, to be honest. I think you could do Moon Knight. Moon Knight fits. Blade, of course. A Ghost Rider, of course. Um, I think you could put a Werewolf by Night. We've seen Man Thing. Maybe you put Man Thing in there as well. Possibly. I don't know.
mhm.
Some of these, I mean, dude, you could throw, I mean, whether you like Agatha or not, you could throw Jennifer Kale in there as well. Um, I mean, she is in more that's more her genre. So you're gonna need to make her a little bit more badass, probably. But yeah, dude, I would love to see it. I just don't know if we will because I don't know if Marvel will take these kind of chances. And everyone will be like, oh, well, they did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, but that's still superhero, right? Like that's
Mhm.
still superhero. This is not superhero. Um,
Well, do you remember the one I was talking about? And I don't know if it's the same picture that you've. I don't think it's the same picture, but remember the Doctor Strange Damnation book, the
yeah.
4-issue mini? So
Uh-huh.
yeah, like that team was the Man Thing, Doctor Voodoo,
Yeah.
Elsa, Blade, Ghost Rider, and
Oh yeah, you
Wong.
could do Elsa, yeah.
So technically, out of all those, you have everybody
Yeah.
besides Blade. So you could do that series, and Ghost Rider. Obviously, you don't have a Ghost Rider, so that team you could do. And there was a lot of spec for a while that was going to be the team if they did a Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's not a bad team up. I'd rather see Wong than Doctor Strange. You could also pick anyone necessarily. I mean, like, honestly, I'd rather see Brother Voodoo. Like, don't do any of them. Have Voodoo show up and have him be the guy. Like, he's still someone from like like the Academy, Strange Academy, quote unquote,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, that way you have like all new characters. And the thing about bringing in someone like that, like Doctor or Brother Voodoo, Doctor Voodoo, whatever you want to call him, is there's not a big origin story that has to occur. Like he just like right? He's a sorcerer. He's part of
Yep.
like these guys. Like you get it. You can just jump into it and boom, boom, boom. Yeah, he's got a little bit of backstory. Yo, these are my powers. I talked to my dead brother. Blah blah blah. Right? Like it's there. It's almost like cut and paste, ready to go. Um, but yeah, you got to get a Ghost Rider. You got to have Blade. Um, I wish you could keep it a little bit more like the original, but obviously we're not going to get like Hannibal King, right? And
Yeah.
Morbius. Like, what are we gonna bring Jared Leto from the Spelunk universe? Like, nah, dude. But um, something. I'd like to see something, dude. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I don't have
Yeah,
much faith.
I think that 2018 team is possible because, like you said, you really could just start off the movie and have the majority of the characters don't need a huge, scene. Like, it doesn't need a 15-minute backstory because they're already established. Like, yeah, you can have
Yeah.
Brother Voodoo, and whether you do a Blade or a Ghost Rider,
Mhm.
yeah, they're introduced, and it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to do
Black
backstory
Panther
on
was
Ghost
introduced
Rider.
in Civil
Yeah.
War. Spider-Man is introduced in Civil War. Black Widow was introduced in Iron Man, and you didn't really know the characters, but you know the characters.
Right.
So there is a way to bring in characters into like a team aspect,
Mhm.
and then if they shine or people love them enough, all right, well then you give them their solo, or they show up in another thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with like Ghost Rider, I mean, and don't get me wrong, we've had Ghost Rider movies, and most people probably have a general idea who he is, but like maybe not the newer generation. But you could easily have like Ghost Rider show up and whoever your sorcerer is say something like, "Oh wow, that's someone who's bonded with the spirit of vengeance." I'm like, "Oh, what's the spirit of vengeance?" And they'll come quick like blurb and tell you, and it's like, there we go, let's ride. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, something that could happen. We saw Mephisto's name get dropped in Agatha, which we haven't talked about Agatha, which we'll wait till the end. But
yeah, that
spoiler
ends
alert,
actually today as we're recording.
does it?
Yeah, last two episodes of tonight,
Oh, they're
season
dropping
finale.
2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because again, remember how strong Marvel is that they gotta start off with 2 and end with 2?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's a quick jab for you people for next week.
Um, but yeah, we dropped Mephisto's name, so who knows in these 2 episodes tonight, maybe we get I mean, that's your villain, right? Honestly, I feel like that could be your villain. You don't have to do Lilith. You could do Lilith, but,
Mhm.
um, Mephisto would be a great villain for the Midnight Suns. Blackheart, any Ghost Rider villain is really gonna be the one. So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I'd love to see it. I just don't know. I mean, we're gonna talk about some Marvel stuff as like later in this episode. So
Yeah. Alright, well, let's
yeah,
keep plugging along again. Thanks, Scott,
yeah,
for that, and make sure you pre-order if you haven't pre-ordered. I know, Marcus got fully funded, so issue 2 will be happening, and if you need copies, hit up, Jaff Comics because they'll be helping him with the publishing. So, next up from our buddy Mike the Beast Benson. Money and politics aside, if you had the choice to draw
risky
and
already.
well, no, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
If you had the choice to draw and or write a comic book series, what would you choose? A Marvel series, B, a DC series, C, indie series, or D, create your own via Kickstarter. Lastly, what series would you choose? So,
I
to
think I
be
know what
honest, I
yours,
kind of
right?
when I thought about this, I want to do I would do a DC. It would have to be DC. I would want
Mm,
to do Batman. You
yeah,
want to put your staple in Batman, right?
yeah,
Like you want to be I wrote this into Batman, or I mean, because like, for me, I know DC kind of gives you the Bible of like every character and tells you you need to read this. But for me, Batman's kind of like the easiest character to just write a story, the villains, the history, the whole
yeah. It's plug and play, kind of.
exactly.
Yeah,
But there's things that maybe I grew up with that I could incorporate into Batman. That's just like people, oh, didn't think about this, right?
yeah, like tones and themes and all the
Yeah.
yeah,
So that would have to be that would be me 100%. DC,
yeah.
gotta go Batman. So what about you?
I mean, this is not going to be like super elaborate answers, right? I'm
Of
going
course.
X Men Marvel. I mean, that's who I love. That same thing. It's plug and play for me. I mean, give me a give me a pen. Let me write something. I can come up with a team of the X Men. I can put them on a mission. Like there's not a lot of creativity that's really needed, and
Yeah.
everyone's done the work for me for the most part, right? Like with the character creation and development. But yeah, I mean, X-Men, that would be my dream.
All right. Yeah, we're simple. I mean, we've got there
Simple
was
man.
someone asked that question a few weeks or months ago, and we kind of answered that, like, what would we want to do? And I think I remember we were talking like comedy, and I said I wanted to do an animal
Yeah,
thing. That was I just can't remember that question, but
yeah.
again, Mike, thanks for the question. And last but not least, we actually have a voice message. Remember those? Remember we used to
What?
get
I
those?
miss
Yeah.
these, dude. I miss these.
And
It's
let's
probably someone who's an asshole, though. It's probably me, an asshole comment.
well after we listen to this, I will have to say something before we continue. So
Okay.
let us listen to someone who decided to send us a voice message. Remember, people, you could send them directly to any of our IGs or the Comic Con podcast at gmail.com. So here comes Paperweight Collects with his
Oh,
question.
total asshole.
Fellas, instead of typing in the question, since Justin usually reads it word for word and it doesn't ever fit properly because of the limitation, I figured I would do it like this. So, my question for you guys is, given the success of Matt Reeves, the Batman, and now the, I'd say, incredible success of the Penguin show, is there more pressure on James Gunn to deliver given what Matt Reeves has been able to do? Or do you think they're still kind of very separate, if that makes sense? But that's my question for you guys.
Hmm.
So, first of all, Paperweight, thank you so much. Second, you're never coming on the show again because you say I read the questions wrong. No, but thank you. That's what we remember. We used to do that like
Yeah, I know.
season
I love
one.
them, dude.
We used
I
to
love
actually
them.
have like
Season
people
2
send
and
in
3, a
voice
little
stuff.
bit still, but
Yeah, a
we
little bit.
don't
So
we don't promote it as much as we used to.
I promote it on the stories, and people
Yeah,
either reply to the stories, which is fun, or people send me direct messages. But I like the voice thing
I
because you
love
get
the
to
voice.
hear them how they are saying it. So
Yeah.
if you're listening, please send a message just like that, like Paperweight did, weekly. It doesn't have to be on like Wednesday or Thursday. If you think of something, send us the voice message. We'll keep it. We'll hold it over for our community section. So, you want to kick us off with this?
Sure. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think there's pressure for James Gunn because I think what you're looking at here is two separate universes and two separate themes, right? Like the Matt Reeves is a lot like the Nolan series where it's grounded more in reality, right? I don't
Mhm.
think we're gonna get the super. I mean, I guess there's been rumors about a Clayface, but like we're not getting like the supernatural necessarily, the superhero costume type characters on Matt Reeves' universe. Like Penguin's a very grounded guy. He's a normal
Mhm.
dude, right? And so was the Riddler, the take on the Riddler. Matt Reeves is probably, or I'm sorry, James Gunn is probably going to go. They're going the more costume superhero, like your traditional DC stuff. So it's going to be a different aspect. And I think James Gunn is going to lean into the humor because that's what he knows, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think there's pressure. I think there's always pressure when it comes to Batman, to be honest, because like you don't want to be the guy who jacks up Batman. Like,
Well, of course.
but no, I don't think so. I think most people are aware. Sorry, I'm not trying to keep going, but like I think the thing about Batman that's different than everyone else is he's like the James Bond of comic book characters. We've seen so many adaptations, we've seen so many different actors portray him. People can put this in kind of a pocket universe. Like this is a Batman over here, this is a Batman over here. I think we're used
Mhm.
to that. So I don't think they necessarily, for the most part, people are okay with like, okay, I got Matt Reeves here, that's different, and then I got James Gunn's, that's different. I think we're used to that with Batman.
Yeah, of course. I think because it was, Nolan did his thing. That was
Mhm.
completely separate from everything else that, if anything, really was going on. Like, I think, what did you have? You had
You had
maybe
Adam West, you had the Tim Burton stuff. I mean, you've
well,
had so
yeah, but I'm
many
talking
different.
about like at the times when
Oh, at the
when they
time.
did these movies, there was really nothing else going on. Maybe
Yeah.
Superman Returns, like the Brendan Roth stuff,
Yeah, maybe,
but
yeah.
yeah, I think James Gunn. Well, I'll take the opposite side. I think there's a lot of pressure because again, you are the head of the DC studios. You are doing this now. What Kevin Feige did to Marvel, so there is a lot of pressure. Like Superman needs to realistically hit it out of the park. Like they
Very
really
true.
need a big win. Well, actually, Creature Commandos is coming
They
up
need a big
first.
win from their Trinity.
Well, that
Those
too,
they have
yes.
to they have to hit 3 for 3 on the Trinity. That's really the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like
but I don't even yeah, and we haven't really heard too much. Like, I think, what is it? It's Creature Commandos, which is coming out the end of this year, which
Mhm.
is the animated, which we saw a trailer at New York Comic Con. You have the Superman. They're talking about Supergirl is she's filming, I think, next year.
We're
I think
getting
the
Green
first
Lantern
wave was
info.
the new Green Lantern stuff. Was Swamp Thing on that first run? I can't remember.
Yeah, and, oh, man.
And then the other one was the Batman with like Damian. So it's kind of an established Batman. So if that is the trading, that's you don't get you don't get the Trinity in the first round. You don't get the full Trinity, at least in the first
Right.
round. So it's definitely tough, man. After watching just the Penguin, I'm like, man, I don't know where they go with this. Like, they'll do a Batman 2 with Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. They're already talking about a season 2 for Penguin, but then you're also like, man, I'd love to see other stuff that could be in this universe. Like, I know Two-Face is on the same level as Penguin,
Mhm.
right? It's kind of that gangster style, so he's a doable character. And that's what's good about a lot of the Batman characters is it's not only just his villains that are, you know, not mutants, I want to say, but like super CGI. There's other low level, like street level villains who are doable. Like Catwoman could have her own series. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of characters in the Batman universe that can just show up. For the most part, even like a Red Hood, they could kind of start. And I was even thinking about this too with how Gotham originally started, like on Fox, right? Like, because that was crime. That was a cop show. So the next thing could be a cop show in Gotham City. So you have Gordon, and then you have like Renee Montoya and
Mhm.
other Bullock, right? There's ways that you can incorporate these characters into their own series because there's been TV shows like that that have been very well done.
So here's the list for
Sure.
the chapter 1 gods and monsters, right? You had
Mm-hmm.
Superman, Supergirl, the Authority,
Oh,
the
it's
Brave and the Bold, and Swamp Thing. And then it looks like there's in development is an Untitled Teen Titans and oh, we heard about this recently, the Untitled Bane and Deathstroke film,
mm,
which there's
okay.
kind of been a little bit of talk about that.
Okay.
So, and then television, real quick, you got the Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, the Lanterns,
Mhm.
Waller, Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, and an Untitled Blue Beetle.
Yeah. A
So,
lot of stuff. A lot of stuff there.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, cool.
cool. Thanks for the questions, everyone. Like I said, I think that's the best thing. Just send us voicemails, man. I love just being able to play those here on the podcast. So, let's kind of get right into some articles, and then we'll talk about some comic books. So let's kick us off with something that I feel like this is going to be a big crossover for comic book people as well as Magic the Gathering. So announced over the weekend of New York Comic Con. This is over at Magic's Wizards for Wizards of the Coast. So Secret Lair is doing a Marvel Secret Drop for a crossover between Magic the Gathering and Marvel, which is going to be wild. So greetings, true believers. We recently unveiled a new line of Secret Lair drops at New York Comic Con, the Marvel Super Drop. Fans got their first look at Marvel's superheroes in Magic with 5 Secret Lair drops, each themed around one of their favorite characters. There's something for every Marvel and Magic fan. When comics come to cards, it's sure to be the team up of a century. And we've seen this before. Fallout, Transformers, Lord of the Rings. They've done all these things. So there is going to be 5 different packs. You have the Black Panther, you have Storm, Captain America, Iron Man, and of course Wolverine. They are 5 different cards. There's non-foils, there's rainbow foils, but this thing I think is going to take off, especially for the collector and all of us, because back in the '90s, right? We had Fleer, Tops, Skybox. Now you have Magic the Gathering. As big as Magic the Gathering is, you have just as much. So Earth's Mightiest Heroes have brought us a special bonus. You'll receive one arcane signet as Earth's Mightiest emblem with each $199 spent on the Marvel Super Drop. But that doesn't mean that on November 4th, when the Super Drop releases, these drops are going to be available in limited quantity. While there's no hard date on to sale, but we can plan to clean up the storefront from time to time and remove products that have been wild. So they are only going to be the pricing is the $39.99 non-foils and the $49.99 foil rainbows. So,
Hmm.
thoughts on this, man?
Not a lot. I mean, I never really played Magic. It always seemed cool to me. I just never really had anyone to play with. But I mean, having like the Marvel stuff, it's obviously appealing. I can see why people would really like this. I think my rebuttal question would be, I definitely think there's room for this to be super popular. And I don't like Lorcana. Has that really taken off much? Or how's that doing? Because that's kind of would
Um,
be like somewhat similar, right? We've taken like the Disney characters into the Magic the Gathering kind of like format.
yeah.
How
Well,
successful has that been?
I think they're on like their third series, maybe fourth since last year, since I was into it for about a whole big 2 months,
Is
maybe.
that good? I don't know. Is that like
I don't
good?
know. I'm not sure. I don't really keep up too much with it, to be honest. I think they typically would do, even like Pokemon does maybe like 2 or 3 drops a year for their different series. I mean, Lorcana is still from the couple card stores and places that I still follow on Instagram. They definitely still have a following, and they're always talking about the pre-orders for the next series. And Disney is Disney.
Yeah.
It's as long as people can get the product in their hands and there's a want to play the game. Like I don't think people like us, listen, if I loved Iron Man or I loved Wolverine, I would just buy these cards just to keep them as collector's items because there's that aspect. There's also the people that are going to try to hoard these and try to resell them, but then there's also the people that play because they are cards to play.
Right.
Like they typically have your standard, whatever, like I don't know, mana 5, whatever, power this. Like, I don't know Magic the Gathering, but that's what it is. Like, and each of them has their abilities and stuff like that. So yeah, people could use them in their normal games, I guess, if they play with their
Gotcha.
commander decks and whatnot. So yeah. Um, check it out. I mean, if you like any of the characters, like I said, Black Panther, Storm, Captain America, Iron Man, and Wolverine each have their own little sets. So, and that drops on November 4th. So literally in a few days. So if you're listening to this early enough, check out Secret Lair and Magic the Gathering at magicsecretlair.com. Cool. What else
Cool.
we got? Some more
So
Marvel news?
yeah, so kind of, I guess on the reverse of us talking about DC, we got Disney Plus at New York Comic Con, or not New York Comic Con. Disney Plus debuted a look ahead teaser for the upcoming Marvel Studios titles. So, uh, celebrate Marvel's Television's Agatha All Along finale. Disney Plus unveiled an eye popping look ahead teaser that reveals upcoming 2024 2025 Marvel Studios titles that will launch exclusively on Disney Plus in the months ahead. So, the first one up should be no surprise, is the Deadpool Wolverine, which will come to Disney Plus on November 12th. The next new content that will be coming out will be Marvel's Animation's What If returns for its highly anticipated third season with daily episodes beginning on December 22nd. So, third and final season, correct? Right? I think
Yep.
it's the final season.
Yeah, yeah. Same thing that they did last year, which is
Yeah.
fun.
So that's cool. Right at the end of the year. That was fun. That was fun every day. How you can kind of like tune in and check that out. Next up, we got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man joins Marvel Animation's lineup on January 29th, 2025. So I'm going to talk about these a little bit as we go through these. So
Mhm.
for those Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, this is premise is just it explores Peter Parker's origin story and early days using the Spider-Man persona in an alternate reality where Norman Osborn becomes Parker's mentor instead of Tony Stark. So this isn't our main Marvel universe, but you will have characters like Nico Minora, Otto Octavius, May Parker, Harry Osborn, Matt Murdock, um, Norman Osborn, Gargan, Rhino, Tarantula, tons and tons of characters. So that will be dropping. I know they kind of went through a couple iterations of like Spider-Man freshman year, and they kind of like
Yeah, I remember
changed the
that.
title and like the vibe of it a little bit here and there. I think it's cool. I think it's good that it's like an alternate universe and it's not going to try to be like really fill the gaps because you don't want I wouldn't want to see characters introduced in like an animation version of being like the Tom Holland universe and then them not show up like live. You know what I mean? Like, so like
Yeah.
your favorite character, let's say you're like a Rhino fan, and he only shows up like in animation. You never see him live. Like that would really suck. So I think it's cool. A little spin-off alternate to kind of be enjoyed on its own. It's like a separate like thing. Next up, the coolest thing announced period ever that Marvel's done in probably like the last 5 years. Daredevil Born Again comes back. So March 4th, 2025, Daredevil Born Again. Oh man. This teaser trailer, like everything they showed with Daredevil is like really the only things I focused on. I mean, seeing Punisher, Kingpin, Bullseye, the Muse. Uh, what else did we get to see in there? All of it just so awesome. Like this is one thing that just Marvel did right, bro. Like
Mhm.
Netflix did it right. I mean, and maybe honestly, the power is maybe we should be thinking Netflix because this was kind of still early on, like pre Disney Plus, obviously, and like when there was like this division and everything they did with Daredevil was the right decision. Maybe you didn't like him in She Hulk. Maybe you didn't like that take on him. I'm sure you were as disappointed as I was in the minuscule amount of time he got in Echo. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I think I mean, if you're not excited for this, then tune out, bro. Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I don't. If you're not excited for Daredevil Born Again, I don't know, man. You need to figure it out. I hope we get to see. Obviously, we're getting a lot of characters coming back. We're getting Karen Page, Foggy's coming back. New characters like Buck Cashman showing up. Um, obviously, the Bullseye stuff. There's still no real talk about Jessica Jones, which was kind of one of the themes of Echo. Like, he was supposed to be searching for her. That was one of the first stories we heard about, like, his role in what it was going to be in Echo.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we've moved on from that aspect or not, but also getting White Tiger, Hector Ayala showing up, so that's cool. But yeah, dude, please
Alright, get
give me.
off of Daredevil. What else we got on here?
Sorry, it's
Because I
just
feel like
so
we could
cool.
just talk just
I know
Daredevil
we
all
really
night.
could. So then moving on, we got Ironheart coming out June 24th, 2025. So Ironheart miniseries, 6 episodes, obviously following Riri Williams. Premise of this: following the events of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, MIT student Riri Williams returns home to Chicago, where she discovers secrets that pit technology against magic, setting her on a path of danger and adventure. So we know we got Riri. We're getting Parker Robbins, the Hood, showing up. Other characters that we're going to get is some reprisals of old characters like from the Marvel universe, but those are kind of the big names. I don't want to like rip this apart or talk about it too much, but I'm already not excited about the backstory of the Hood because it really speaks to like what I feel like we talk about all the time is like where they try to take these villains and make
Mhm.
them like, oh, like I can see where they're coming from. So, like, for example, this is just a premise of the character. It says Robbins is from the Chicago neighborhood, being raised by his mother, who is part of the Puerto Rican street gang turned activist organization, the Young Lords. So that tells me that it's like, oh, it's a street gang, but they're activists. They're not that bad of guys, dude. Parker Robbins is a complete and utter piece of shit in the comics. Like, he is a bad dude. He is
Yeah.
a thug. He is a criminal. Like, there is no redeeming characteristics to Parker Robbins. So I already am kind of like bothered by that I feel like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's just a guy down on his luck, and he's a complex misfit, and I'm
Oh,
sure
of
race will
course.
be thrown in, and like, oh, this is how it is. So that bugs me, but whatever. We'll see. I like the Hood. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling, Riri's armor, there was a lot of problems with the one that was in Black Panther,
Yeah.
and, now you're really getting into her Mark II or Mark III, whatever you really wanna call it,
Hmm.
and it's still not the suit that's shown in, the comics, are we gonna just have this silver because it's silver, you can kinda see in the trailer,
Yeah.
by the end, are we gonna get our 4th, or is she just gonna take that and paint it that red and almost gold, like, almost like a ruby color? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it does well. But
I
yeah,
need to
I
watch
I hear
Wakanda
you with the
Forever
with the
again.
part with the Hood, man. He's a badass. It should be an R.
Yeah.
He's
Don't
an
like,
R-rated character. He's not a PG to PG-13 type of
yeah,
character.
dude. And like, don't like make him real. Make him a bad guy. Bad guy. So anyway. Next up, we got from Marvel Animation, Eyes of Wakanda, launching in August 6th, 2024. So, the Eyes of Wakanda, there's not a ton of information on it. The premise, same thing. It follows Wakandan warriors who have traveled the world to retrieve dangerous vibranium artifacts throughout history and T'Challa's ancestors passing down the mantle of Black Panther. So, in terms of casting characters, we don't really have much. There is one character, Noni, a Wakanda fighter, and there's supposed to be an Iron Fist. Now, we don't know if that's going to be Danny Rand or if this is in the past or whatever, but this has definitely kind of changed a little bit. We There's not a lot of information on what this story is going to entail totally, but
And that one's animation, right? That one's
all animation, yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
So, and anything I'm seeing, and there might be more info out there, but what I looked at real quick, no voice actors, no like set characters yet. So,
Yeah.
next up, also from Marvel Animation, Marvel Zombies comes in time for Halloween next year, October 2025. So, we saw that. That was cool. We saw that in What If. Could be fun. I mean,
I'm excited for that, man.
yeah, okay.
Those were good series. The
They're
first
fun.
2 or 3 5-issue miniseries were good to read. And then they kinda got a little too crazy towards the end, but
Yeah, you just
anytime
go a
they
little
bring the
too
Marvel
much,
Zombies
right?
back, it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Like they did, when they brought them back in Secret Wars was a lot of fun. I
yeah.
enjoyed reading that.
I think it's a fun time. It's don't think too much about it. Just enjoy zombies, Marvel, right?
Hell yeah.
Then to round it out, we have Marvel Television's Wonder Man original live action series poised to release sometime in December 2025. So we saw some clips of this. We saw, oh man, what's his name? Oh, Yahya Abdul Mateen. So Black Manta from
Yep.
Aquaman is playing Simon Williams Wonder Man. We also saw the return of Trevor Slattery. So
Saw that.
Ben Kingsley is Trevor Slattery, which is kind of funny, man. That's kind of cool. I'm not against it. And then we also know that Eric Williams, the Grim Reaper, his brother, is going to be in this. So those are kind of the main characters we talked about. Will be 10, or that we know as of now who will show up. 10 episodes. I'm reserving some judgment on this one. It looks humorous. It has WandaVision vibes in terms of like artsy fartsy kind of type stuff, I guess. But I do like him a lot. I loved him as Black Manta. I think he's a great actor.
He's a great actor for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with them race swapping. I don't with this character. Like, who gives a shit about Wonder Man, but I don't mind that. Maybe that seems kind of weird with, when you do mind, when you don't mind. I don't know, but I don't really mind here. You?
I mean, I don't care enough for Wonder Man to care.
Yeah.
Like the race swapping, but yeah, the actor, he was great in both Aquamans. I saw him in a Ambulance with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I never saw that.
Yeah, it was like they played. Yeah, they're like army brothers.
Yeah.
He was in something else? Wasn't he in like the light? What horror movie was he in? Wasn't he Candyman? Didn't he play?
Oh, the new one? Yeah, I think he did play the new one.
Yeah. I think he was in that movie. He wasn't Candyman. He was like a photographer or a news person that wanted to get all the information, I think, and then ended up becoming Candyman. I can't remember. I can vaguely see him with bees around him. So it's the only thing I could think of as a horror movie.
With bees around him.
It's the only thing that you can think of.
I remember seeing this guy surrounded by bees. Yep, Candyman. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, some good things coming up in Marvel.
Yeah, so check out that trailer for the look ahead teaser that's coming out in 2025. And I guess next week we'll be doing our review for Agatha All Along, and maybe next week I'll wait to do my review on Venom as well, so we could do a big movie review.
Oh yeah, Venom
and TV series. So let's kick it out for the rest of the episode with some comic books. So we had unfortunately we're reading this on a Wednesday, so I didn't get too much to read. So I'll go first, and then we'll kick it over to you. We'll do our events, and then we'll end this episode. So, kind of some cool books for the week. You had It Happened on Hyde Street, Devour one shot.
Awesome.
Was very, very refreshing, very horror-esque.
Yeah.
It's
monkey paws.
Yes, very much monkey paws. A lot of Easter eggs are in there. A lot of stuff. If you read Hyde Street, there's a lot of things in the background that you see, and some of the characters just a very interesting, and it almost had a very did you ever read like Beauty? There's that comic book Beauty, and it's all about kind of body shaming and so there's this girl who's on Hyde Street, and she is another one of these characters who has to deliver so many souls to whatever the mentor of Hyde Street is, but it's kind of a generational storyline with mother and daughter, and then the daughter of the daughter. So it's, I guess, mother, daughter, grandmother. I guess would kind of be the thing, kind of whole family process. But I kind of knew when you don't see what it is. I kind of had a feeling that that's what the outcome was going to be for the big twist at the end. So definitely check that out if you're reading any of this stuff from Ghost Image.
I liked how, and I'd like to see that more. Like, I think Hyde Street's kind of a perfect little title where you could do one shots on these characters and like not have the main series. You could do little one shots like Devour, like on the background characters. Like, that's pretty cool. Well, I hope they keep that up.
There is another one coming out. I saw it was it was kind of on the back page. Something coffee and orange.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, check that out, But yeah, so the Hyde Street stuff is cool. I think it's on like the final page.
It was thick, dude. It was a big book. It was like
like it was like a 34 page.
Too is amazing on these books. Oh, no, this is just an actual coffee, dude. They're selling coffee.
Oh,
they're selling Hyde Street Blood Orange Dark Coffee. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like that was another one shot. I saw that.
Yeah, no, dude, that's actually a thing now. Like, people are selling a lot of coffee. Like, Coheed and Cambria has their own coffee.
Okay.
I had seen this before that Ghost Machine was selling their own coffee. Yeah.
All right. I thought that was real. I thought that was going to be my next book, my next one shot that I was going to be reading. So,
Yeah.
other than that, I read the Wolverine Returns 3.
Oh,
And
Revenge.
Revenge. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Revenge. I like this, man.
Yeah.
Capullo just draws characters so awesome. Hickman writing it, and it was a good Deadpool written character, right? Did you read it? I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But this is the Deadpool that I like, not the fourth wall, like crazy talking out like outlandishly.
Mhm.
He's kind of simple, but he still knows it's still like an outside type of world. So, and just the art, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Capullo just crushes it on just the fights, the colors. It's just amazing to read and kind of see where this is going to go. I mean, I'm curious to know at the end of the issue who was in the house.
In the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked how like the silo scene with Deadpool, and it was like very much like Wolverine Origins, right? Like the final
Mm.
scene of Wolverine Origins where they're
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
on like I thought that was kind of what we are gonna get. And you kind of got something like that, I guess, a little, but I was like, oh shit, it's like Wolverine Origins.
Mm.
But yeah, I liked it too. That was
Yeah,
cool.
and then you got Omega Red in there too, and
I thought
it
we were
was
gonna play that out over more issues, actually. That was kind of one thing that disappointed me, I think, was like you got 3 battles in this one. I thought we were gonna maybe each issue was gonna be a one-on-one, like
yeah.
more, but whatever.
And then pick of the week, just because again I didn't read too much today because it was just again recording. Probably something that maybe people should need to check up was Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing Feral Trees. Yeah, really cool one shot. Ever since first of all, Swamp Thing's in a great character, and they need to come out with another long series for him because he gets a lot of these one shots, and they're always good. Like they're always good. The Swamp Thing stuff. The Scott Snyder stuff from the New 52 was amazing. There's some little bit post that. I remember they did a winter special with him, and it was really good. Man, Swamp Thing is just a great character, and with bringing in Poison Ivy is just a completely different character ever since they've kind of introduced like the Green, and she got killed and rebirthed, and she's now part of that because the throughout this entire issue, for the people that know, there's the Parliament of the Trees, which is uh, different classifications of what's going on in Swamp Thing's world, and you see a lot of these characters that Swamp Thing hasn't seen in a while. But the whole premise is both Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy are investigating some deaths that are happening in this like forest area. And for the most part, it's very interesting because you kind of have like the wise sage man of Swamp Thing, kind of almost being like uh, a trainer training like Poison Ivy, who is, as they say in this comic book, half in and half out. And Ivy doesn't get that until the end, where she's like half in the green because she wants she wants to save everything as far as like the plants, but she's also half out because she still cares about the humans. Unlike Swamp Thing, who doesn't really care about the humans at all, he's
Mhm.
all about what's going on in the green. So,
Is this Elseworlds or is this like
oh no, it's
not obviously
definitely part.
Elseworlds, but is it out of continuity of like the main run,
No, it's
the
it's
main stuff?
definitely part of the continuity because the writer, G. Willow Wilson, is the same writer who's doing the current Poison Ivy series.
Oh, okay. I
So
like
it's
her, dude. She
still
does the Hunger and Dusk also. I like
okay.
that writer, yeah.
So yeah, so she's continuing this one. So it's a good continuation of Poison Ivy, and that's still a series, man. That's still going. That I still have never picked up anything other than issue one, just for like a bunch of covers. That I really need to actually sit down and read that series because I've heard nothing but great things, and the fact that it's still going, which means it's got to be doing well. So definitely my pick of the week was the Poison Ivy Swamp Thing Feral Trees one shot. So give it a shot because there's no other Swamp Thing stuff going out there. So what about you, man?
Cool. What did I like? I liked NYX number 4 was good. It focused each issue's kind of focused on one of the characters, and this focused a little bit more on Prodigy, David Aladine, who we hadn't seen in a long time. We also see him kind of go up against Hellion, who's masquerading as Captain Krakoa. I liked some of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, kind of with Prodigy's character and how he's explaining like the socioeconomic role, I guess, of mutants in the world, which I thought was pretty interesting. So it was good. It was pretty good. Red Coat number 7 was sad, dude. So like it's kind of into the first arc to kind of give you guys, because I really think if you guys aren't reading this, you should read it. It's amazing. Jeff Johns, basically the main character, Simon Pure, is immortal. He's a Revolutionary War guy. He's been kind of traveling or living through time. And in the first arc, he buddies up with Albert Einstein as like a kid, and they have all these adventures. And I'm not going to ruin like what happens there. But in issue 7, it fast forward to like 19, I'm going to mess up the date. Let's say 59 or whatever. And Einstein's on his deathbed, and they were close. They had a good relationship, and Simon Pure shows up on his deathbed, and Einstein's elderly. He looks like the Einstein we know. And it's just kind of a touching issue about, being a man who's immortal and watching the people you love continuously die. And Simon Pure is anything but pure and is kind of a piece of shit. But like, you do see that he isn't a total piece of shit. So it was a really strong issue. I thought it was really good. It was really good. What else? Farrell was decent. Star Wars, decent. Devour
the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Thoughts on who the Inquisitor is that shows up?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And let me ask you this, because I was
hoping it was Balin Skull.
I kind of breezed through it pretty quickly, but at the end when Luke shows up, is he now on the ship with them? Is that what you read too? Okay, so he like found his way there as well. We just don't know when and how he got there, but he's now on this ship also, and there's an Inquisitor and Luke and like all these people, like Dameron and Poe, or not Poe, but Poe's dad. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really give it much thought of like a guess of who it was.
But it's interesting because I don't think we've seen any other, other than, maybe Marek, because Marek was an Inquisitor in the Ahsoka series, so maybe it's kind of like a little younger.
And you haven't really heard of you haven't heard the term Inquisitor really in this era, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So to think, I mean, most people probably safely assume there are no Inquisitors at the time of the fall of the Empire. So the fact that there is some still out there, it is interesting who it might be. So yeah, that part was kind of cool. Other than that, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like amazing, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I was really just hoping for so much more, but I know this is going to be like a big 12-issue run. Like, I know it's 4 parts for every thing for this, because I mean, obviously they can't do the whole Battle of Jakku because it's supposed to be a big turning point in the Rebel Empire war to end it all. So it's really got to pick up, I'd say, by like the 6th or 7th issue.
Yeah, hopefully maybe this villain that's coming in will be a little stronger, because the villain they've got, this like, this Moth is not really cutting it. It's not cutting it, dude. Magic Order #2 came out. I'm a big Magic Order fan, and it's interesting now because we're over Mark Miller's imprint is now over at Dark Horse. So always good Magic Order read. But my pick of the week, man, this is kind of a little advanced because this book doesn't actually come out to your LCSs for, I couldn't even tell you, probably a couple months. But you can get it on his website. Is Charles Soule's somewhat of a sequel-ish? I don't think it's like, let's just call it a sequel to 8 Billion Genies, and it's called The Lucky Devils. You can still get it, I think, off of his website. You can go on there and get it. It's a special preview edition. But so same kind of idea, right? As like the genies, these humans have genies. In this world, every human has a devil. Okay, so it's super interesting how it goes. It's how do I explain it? So everyone has a devil, right? But these devils are like, think of it like a corporate work structure, right? So like every devil has to use the 7 deadly sins to encourage their person, whoever they're assigned to be a bad person. But low levels only have access to one of the deadly sins. But if you succeed and you make that person do some bad stuff, the devils get promoted and they get more access. It's almost like leveling up in like a video game as well, too, right? You get more access to more sins and more powers, and then like you get a bigger person you get to be the devil of. So the story follows these 2 devils. It's a kind of more focused on the devils a little bit, obviously, than the genies were. And the devils are the Collar and Rake. They're a male and a female. They're described as, I'll read you the synopsis here. Lucky Devils is a story of Collar and Rake, 2 down and out anarchist punks shoulder devils who decide to start a revolution in hell. The first step, molding 2 truly good humans to become the most powerful and influential individuals on Earth. It is also the story of those humans, ordinary 20-somethings Cam Stain and Star Wilson. As their lives begin to change due to their devilish new friends, Cam and Star quickly learn that with great power comes great temptation. Will Cam and Star manage to stay good in a world that makes it so easy for powerful people to be evil? Will Collar and Rake successfully burn hell to the ground? As they say, the devil's in the details. So, yeah, their people are like super good people. They're pissed because they're just like they don't do anything. So one of them has wrath and he keeps poking at his guy to like piss him off with like stupid shit that happens during the day. So they try to get him mad and make him mad. And he's just like, oh, well, I guess not. That stinks, you know? And then the other one's like a nurse who her devil is trying to like use envy. So she keeps making like one of her partners at work gets the promotion, gets a boyfriend, da da da, you know. So she really tries to hit her with envy. And they're not really like giving into these like sins as they want to. So the devils take on a new tactic, which you're not supposed to do, and they reveal themselves to their humans and kind of say, look, this is what's up. We want to help you. Do you want to suck or do you want to have some fun? And so,
fuck, man, this sounds so cool.
It is cool, dude. And then the devils are like boyfriend and girlfriend. They're like a relationship. Like they're like, you see them in hell afterwards, and they're like in hell, and there's wild stuff going on in hell.
So is there like a lot of devils? So is it?
Oh
So
yeah.
here's my two. All right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Is it like 8 billion genies where the genies were like all over the place? So in this world, all the devils are all over the place, but obviously, no, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't see them. Only
Man,
the devils see the other devils. It's
Yeah, you don't see them. Let me see if you can. I can't remember the structure. So if I remember correctly, so what this guy says, if we do well enough with our humans, we get promoted and get to use new sins. And I think, okay, so he says, I'm a local devil. There's about 70 odd million of us, one for every 100 of you. The humans at our level, let's see, no one else. Yeah, so there's one for every 100, and they just kind of like basic. So it's almost like I said, like a corporate work structure. Like as you promote, you get more access to more sins to play with. So,
all right. Well, you suckered me into buying it when it comes out.
Dude, it's great. I mean, you can get, like I said, there's a 1 in 1,000 and a 1 in 500 on his website right now for the special preview edition. I don't know what difference the previews will have, like if there'll be more. I mean, because you think about preview, right? And you think like it's going to have less content.
Yeah. Usually it's like black and white, like the ash cans, like the
this is like a
Transformers
full
thing.
issue, dude. Yeah,
that's cool.
This is crazy. It's like a full issue. And the one I got was I got the foil cover. It's really, really cool. You can see it right there.
I know they did some. I think that was the same one that they gave away to the retailers at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, yeah, he had it at his booth.
Oh, okay. So then that's the same one. But that's cool that he's already like selling it himself. You know, he's trying to make his money now, right?
Yeah.
Like that's him making whatever $7-8 a book,
dude. Yeah, I mean, I think on his website was $40.
Oh, really?
I think I can't remember.
For the way, just that one that you just read, or
yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I can look it up right here. But
well, I'm sure it's going to be different than like the normal one that comes out, because probably the one that'll come out in stores is not going to be foil. Like it'll be the same cover, but it won't be a foil cover. So realistically, it is exclusive now.
Yeah,
his website and stuff. So
definitely an exclusive. So awesome story, man. It was fun. You're gonna like it, dude.
Cool. I loved 8 Billion Genies. It was a great story for the 8 issues. So
I just finished
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find it here on the website. I'll tell you about it later, I guess, if I find it.
Cool.
But yeah, check that out. Everyone keep it up. I can't remember when the date is. I tried to look it up real quick so I could find it. I didn't get to hunt too much for when this comes out next year, sometime 2025. But definitely pre-order it. Tell your LCS, pick up a copy. It's gonna be good, man. It's really good.
Nice.
So,
all right,
that's it.
Good stuff. Good books. Good articles. Great community questions. Thanks everybody. We'll catch you all in the full month of November. Anything
Have a
else?
Safe and fun Halloween, everyone.
Well, yeah, hopefully y'all had a. Yeah.
Hopefully you made it past Halloween.
Hopefully you're listening to this and you enjoyed your candy. Send some candy my way. I'm sure I'll be completely out of it. So, I don't think there's really anything going on. November, no big cons, nothing. I mean, we have one guest like I talked about last week, but I really don't want to keep. I want people to be prepared, but I don't want to tell who it is because I don't want the person doesn't show up. I'm hoping. I'm happy. Shit, that's about it, everybody. Let's get out of here for the week. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you all next week on our normally scheduled broadcasting.
Later.
Hey, comic book collectors. Do you want to protect what you collect? Do you hate when your comic books slide around in your short box, or you need to turn them sideways just so they don't bend or fall over? Well, look no further than Sidekick Supplies. Their product fits firmly inside your comic box, so you don't need to worry. And not only is their product made in the USA, but also ships free directly to your doorstep. Check out our sponsor, Sidekick Supplies, at sidekicksupplies.com and use the code ComicCom15 for 15% off your purchase. Believe me, you'll be ordering more than one.